The largest Apple product ever made is not something you'll be able to take home to enjoy, but it is something to behold. Apple Park is the company's second campus, built in Cupertino, California, and it was one of the final products pitched by the late CEO, Steve Jobs. The massive ring-shaped building is now an iconic symbol of Apple's dedication to design, green energy, and the future of technology. Apple calls Cupertino, California home, and its main headquarters had been located at 1 Infinite Loop since 1993. In 2017, the company finished construction and officially moved its employees into the massive Spaceship campus, called The Ring, located at 1 Apple Parkway. What looks like a giant spaceship parked in the lush flats of Cupertino, California, is actually tech giant Apple's new HQ, fittingly named the Apple Park. This stunning architecture sprawls across 176 acres of land and might just be one of the most stunning campuses in the world. Despite its incredibly futuristic looks, the Apple Park has been a long time in the making, with Steve Jobs first announcing the project way back in 2006. It took 8 long years of planning, proposals, and permit applications, but by 2014 construction was well underway, and by 2017 the vast Apple workforce was already starting to move in. The massive ring-shaped building is now an iconic symbol of the Apple brand and is a fantastic testament to the company's dedication to effortless design, sustainability, and the future of technology. The campus is surrounded by grass and trees, has an orchard in the center of the ring, and contains energy and design innovations throughout. Apple Park is the beacon of creativity and unity, meant to drive Apple into the future. Despite being able to hold thousands of employees, only a tiny fraction were able to work on-site from March 2020. After multiple delays due to the pandemic, Apple was finally able to begin bringing employees back to its campus in April 2022. The move back was slow and highly contested by several employees who wished to work from home, but Apple won out in the end. For starters, the campus is made up of multiple buildings. However, 80% of the land is still considered to be green space. Apple and the designers put a lot of effort into making the park fit seamlessly into nature, planting over 9,000 drought-resistant trees throughout the grounds, including cherry, apricot, olive, and of course a few varieties of apple to encourage workers to maintain a healthy lifestyle. The grounds feature 3.2 kilometers worth of various walking and running trails, as well as 1,000 bikes that can be used to commute between the buildings. Other lifestyle facilities include a gym, wellness center, and a couple of basketball courts. There's also a huge 2-story yoga studio where the desk jockeys can wind down and ease out their back pain. The campus really does look after its staff and the environment too. All of the buildings are incredibly eco-friendly, with the main ring construction being home to one of the world's largest rooftop solar farms. The solar-covered roof generates up to 17 megawatts of power, which is enough to meet 75% of the campus energy demand during peak times. The rest of the campus's needs are met by on-site fuel cells powered by biofuel or natural gas. The main building also utilizes a natural ventilation system, meaning that it doesn't use traditional heating and cooling methods for 9 months of the year, furthering the space's green credentials. Nicknamed the Spaceship, or the Ring, the central circular building is quite a sight to behold. Sitting 4 stories high, it has over 1.2 million square feet of office space and enough room to accommodate up to 12,000 members of staff. To bring the outside world in, the design has incorporated a lot of glass into the building, and the construction even features the largest curved glass panes in the world. There are 800 of the 45-foot-tall curved glass panels around the building's exterior and around 3,000 smaller panels to be found within the low-energy LEDs. Natural sunlight and sheer amount of see-through material make the Spaceship a stunningly bright place to be, which I'm sure is great at keeping the 12,000 staff members feeling energized throughout their long working days despite being hidden from sight. One of the most amazing Spaceship features happens to be found deep underground. The main ring is one of the few buildings in the world to make use of base isolation, which protects the ring from even the worst of Californian earthquakes. The isolation system is made up of 692 huge stainless steel plates, which allow the building to shift up to 4 feet in any given direction, without causing any structural damage. Also to be found underground is an expansive parking area and road network that's completely hidden from sight. Putting these amenities underground was an absolute necessity in order to maximize the green space in and around the Apple Park. Other features to be found around the campus include 7 cafes, with the largest being sprawled across 3 levels, with enough seating for 3,000 people. The huge catering team says it has enough capacity to feed around 15,000 people every lunchtime. So there's definitely some growing room if Apple decides to expand its already huge workforce. Also within the park's grounds is the inspiring Apple Auditorium, now known as the Steve Jobs Theater. The spectacular circular glass building mirrors the Spaceship in its form and is topped with the world's largest carbon fiber roof. The theater includes a 42-foot-high glass elevator that takes guests underground to the 1,000-seat auditorium. Made from chemically tempered glass, the elevator is also considered to be the tallest freestanding glass elevator in the world. Other buildings dotted around the park include a 100,000-square-foot fitness center, 2 300,000-square-foot research and development facilities, a care clinic, and the visitor center, which happens to be the only building in the entire park that guests can visit without a pass. Officially known as the Steve Jobs Theater, after the co-founder and former CEO of Apple, the facility is located atop a hill on the campus. It is an underground, 1,000-seat auditorium intended for Apple product launches and press meets. It has a large above-ground cylinder-shaped lobby with stairs down to the auditorium. The theater has 350 parking spaces and pedestrian path leading to the main campus, located northwest of the theater. The theater's lobby has cylindrical-shaped glass walls and no-support columns, which give an unhindered 360-degree view of the surrounding campus. The 80-short-ton, 73-metric-ton carbon fiber roof, made of 44 identical panels, was supplied by the Dubai-based company, Premier Composite Technologies. Each panel is 70 feet, 21 meters, long and 11 feet, 3.4 meters wide, and locks in the middle with the other panels. It is the largest carbon fiber roof and the largest glass-supported structure in the world. The theater also includes a 42-foot, 13 meters, high glass elevator that rotates 171 degrees from the bottom floor to the upper lobby level. The elevator is made from chemically tempered glass and is considered to be the tallest freestanding glass elevator in the world. The Apple Park Visitor Center is all under one roof, but is divided into 4 very special sections: a 10,000-square-foot Apple Store, filled with the latest Apple products, a 2,000-square-foot cafe and observation deck, where you can look over the campus, and a designated Air Experience area. The area includes a scale model of the entire Apple Park, offering visitors and employers a look at life on campus. The Apple Park is so full of amazing features and amenities, more so than almost any other work environment in the world. Apple has thought of everything from their environmental footprint to keeping their workforce full up with food, leisure, and creativity. There have been a few complaints about the open-plan office spaces, with some workers saying that they are distracting, counterproductive, and removes opportunity for privacy. But still, the futuristic facility has been incredibly well received and has set a new world standard in how amazing a work environment can truly be. Jony Ive was the chief design officer at Apple, and he has since left the company to start his own design firm. While Apple Park was under construction, I've stepped away from leading the product design team to take a more personal interest in the construction and design of the new campus. I've worked closely with the design firm Foster Plus Partners on this massive undertaking. His design influences are seen throughout the campus, and he speaks of Apple Park in this interview with Wallpaper * magazine. As a design team, our goal has been, in some ways, to get design out of the way. I've said, we try to define a solution that seems so inevitable that it does recede. He stated this, referring to the philosophy that is behind everything Apple designs. Even the stairs received such scrutiny. There are so many connections between floors, he continued. There are light wells that go all the way down. You have visual connections to the floors and connections by the stairs. When discussing the building's flexibility, Ive states, our building is very configurable, and you can very quickly create large open spaces, or you can configure lots of smaller private offices. The building will change and it will evolve. The idea that the building could change as Apple changes was the driving factor behind much of the design. Shaped like a large flying saucer of sorts, Apple calls the main campus building the Ring. This massive building features 845-foot tall rounded glass panels that connect all the way around the 4-story structure. Some of these panels function as large sliding doors, allowing for the interior to be exposed to the outdoors during nice weather. The ring uses base isolation to protect against earthquakes. The isolation system consists of 692 large steel saucers, located 2 stories underground. This system is a modified version of Japan's and will protect the campus from all but the most severe earthquakes. The ring's interior hosts large rooms with glass walls and entryways, including wide-open spaces that can be collapsed into smaller sections as needed. The ring is divided into 8 identical segments and surrounded by a hallway roughly 3/4 of a mile around. Design rules the campus from top to bottom and will influence the company moving forward. Many consider Apple Park to be an Apple product designed by Jony Ive, his crown jewel before exiting the company and gift to his departed friend Steve Jobs. The Glendenning Barn is a historical landmark moved and restored by Apple during Apple Park's construction. It was originally a part of the farmland that housed apricot, prune, and cherry orchards. It is now used for simply storing groundskeeping tools but still stands as a symbol of community and innovation at Apple Park. The late CEO and co-founder Steve Jobs saw the rapid growth of the company and knew its current campus couldn't last. So, Apple purchased land formerly owned by Hewlett-Packard, a company important to Jobs' history as he worked there as a summer intern. Steve Jobs personally presented an ambitious plan to the Cupertino City Council for building one of the largest office buildings in the world. Apple met many of its initial goals within its first presentation of the campus, although it took 2 years longer and went well over cost estimates. Sadly, Steve Jobs died only a few months after that meeting, and it is known as one of his last public appearances. The campus theater is named after him in remembrance. In 2014, Apple began the initial tear-down of the old Hewlett-Packard buildings and broke ground. The project took a little over 3 years to get finalized and ready for the employee move-in. Throughout the construction process, Apple faced several challenges from buying up all the available trees to city taxes coming into question.